What's up, guys? How's it going today? So as you can see, the Chevelle's not here. It is up in Calgary getting some wiring stuff done. I took it up there while I was away hunting and haven't gone to pick it up yet. So I got today and tomorrow to get some stuff around here done because winter's coming. And yeah, it's coming fast. So we're going to be doing some winter driving with the Chevelle, so that'll be fun with 600 horsepower driving around. So we're going to get the old loader going. We got to get our derby car all stripped out and get that engine put away for the winter. I don't want to leave it. It's got coolant in it, but there's too much money in that thing to let it sit outside and possibly crack. So let's see if the old W14 will start here. So first thing we got to do, because it's been sitting, it always leaks down, so we got to prime it. Make sure our hook's on it. Yep, our hook is on it. Of course, it's underneath the forks. So yeah, let's see if it'll start. This thing is one of the most finicky things ever, and if it starts, I'll be surprised. Oh. Oh. Gotta love the smell of raw diesel. There we go. It's gonna be a good day. Good day. We also got to get the trailer in. We got some different things we're going to do to it. But that new trailer, man, I can't wait to be pulling that across the country. Okay, we'll get this thing in here. Something is not good in this. There's a bunch of banging and crashing in reverse. I think... yeah, it's probably on its last leg, so that's fun. That's super awesome. All right, so we got it in here. Now let's go over what we broke on this thing. Diff is broke. There's a big old crack there, and you can actually see the whoop in it. So yeah, that's broke. Wrecked one of my good tires. Let's see what else. I think that's about all that's really broken. Power steering, that's a usual thing. But other than that, like, we were still going. And yeah, it just, I think actually my distributor took a hit. So that's what ended up taking me out, was my air cleaner got into the distributor and knocked that out. And when you lose your distributor, there's nothing you can do. So, but this was a fun car. We won a little bit of money with it. And yeah, this is the car we took up to Cadott Lake last year, and then we ran it again this summer. So we're gonna strip it down. Probably just we'll see how things go. I might strip all the armor off it and everything, but my main focus, just get the engine out, and I can put it on the stand over there in the corner, and then it's good to go. It'll be in the warmth for the winter, and I don't have to worry about cracking the block. So people that were asking, it's a Schrade racing engine is what it is. Chris Schrade, he builds some awesome pieces. Like, so he's got another Derby engine of mine that he's refreshing, that my wife used the balancer to hit a car. So he's going through that. So we'll probably put a new crank in it and different things, but he said it was in super good shape. For as hard as I ran that engine for as many years as I did, it was in good shape. So we'll get this thing out. We might try to see if it'll fire up. Why not, right? Hear it one more time before we put it away for winter. So this is what I think happened. I think when this got caught under the hood and it messed up the cap. So yeah, hopefully the carb isn't messed up, but we'll see. Okay, upon further inspection, that's not broken. I went to just kind of crank it and see what it would do, and the batteries were completely dead. So I think what happened was the batteries died because I don't run an alternator. I usually charge these up overnight, and I didn't do that before this derby because it was basically a 12-hour build. So I didn't have time to get the batteries all charged up. So let's see if we can spark this thing over one time before we pull it out. All right, we got power back there. Let's see. Maybe it is a distributor. Hold on. Let's see here. It's not the distributor. Okay, let's just try. I'll give it a good healthy drink here. Well, I'm definitely here now. But that's a good sign. Nothing wrong with it. We either A, ran out of battery, B, I'm looking in the float bowl, and with the engine tilted back the way it is now because of how high the front end is, we might have run out of fuel too. Like it might have fueled out. So that's good. So now we can cut this thing apart. So that's what I'm gonna do. The nice thing, when the front end's up like this, the radiator just comes out super slick, super easy. We just take the hoses off and it falls out. We don't have to worry about the engine. Yeah, pulley on there is no good, but yeah, everything's really good. These 4412 Hollies are awesome. So this is the XP, but yeah. This one I needed more fuel for it, so Chris threw the XP on it and it's got some work done to it. But man, this engine is nasty. Like I kind of want to put it into my wife's wagon in the back, the Chevelle wagon, and see what it could do. I bet we could get the front tires off the ground with it. But yeah, we won't be doing that right away anyways. I gotta get this out, get ready for winter. So one last look at this wrecked beast. It was a good car, won me a little bit of cash, and a bunch of memories. So one thing that we do, I use seat belts to hold my radiator in, but I also use expanding foam. And as you can see, like that thing's in there rock solid, like even without the seat belts holding it. So, I mean, some shows don't allow foam, but if you can foam, it gives it that extra little padding. And yeah, it works great. So glad this thing didn't break because that's my last one that I have. So, but yeah, anyone that's wondering, Schrade Racing Engines, that's what this one is. I run Schrades in all my derby stuff. I do have Old Faithful sitting over there, but it needs to be reworked. I might actually take it down to Chris and get him to go through it and build something out of it. But yeah, I've been running Schrades for a lot of years, and I like them. Everyone has their preferences on engines, but I mean, the first one I got, the hotter that engine got, the better it ran. And I mean, we were running full mains with no water. We'd pull on the track and lose the rad hose or whatever. But yeah, he definitely knows what he's doing. So yeah, we'll get this all tore apart and yeah, see what we're gonna put it in next year. We have been thinking about doing a marathon down in Utah. So when I say marathon, we're talking destructive behavior, UTC, and Jube. So it's 3 weekends in a row of Derby, but it's basically a mod show. So hopefully, like if we're traveling 12 hours down there, hopefully our one car we can patch together for each show. But if that's the case, we'll be taking this and it'll be full armored up. Like it'll have a cradle on it and protectors, all that stuff. But for now, we'll get it out. We'll check what the oil looks like, make sure there's nothing shiny in the oil and no coolant in it. And then, yeah, we'll put it away until we figure out what we're taking south or what we're up to. But we're trying to, we had a lot of people asking for Derby content. And so I'm thinking once the Chevelle's done and we got stuff going on with it, we will have time to build some Derby cars. The Chevelle took up a lot of time this year, but we're going to have a cool race car for next year. So yeah. So if you watch the 12-hour Derby build of this car, and then like I showed the Derby in it, stuff like that, you've seen the smoke coming off of it. You've seen it looked like this thing was going to burn down. And to give you a little perspective, the stickers on here used to be white, like they are burnt. This thing got hot. To give you an idea how hot, that's all the coolant that was left in it, and the bucket's dirty, it's not. But yeah, so I'm hoping there's no coolant in there, but that we basically boiled this thing, and the only reason it shut off was dead battery. So that just goes to show what his engines can do. So we got the car up in the air, and give you an idea how bent things are here. Like we're so packed up with mud and everything. The floor is actually bowed from all the mud that was packed up in here. I just pulled all that out from around the shifter, so we can get that off, and we'll pull the cross member out so we can get the engine out. Got to take the drive shaft out. Yeah, like engine didn't get hit, so that's good. But she bent. This car was a lot of fun. Like we bought it for, what was it? This one's the Post. I bought this car for, what was it? I think it was 500 bucks. Bought it for 500 bucks, had a big block in it. We pulled the big block out and sold that. And so, I mean, wasn't into it for anything really. And then, yeah, we won, what was it? I think it was about $2,000 with it or so, somewhere around there. But, yeah, I'm still behind with it, like with all the fuel and everything that we put into taking this car places. But I mean, the amount of fun that we had was worth every penny. Me and my buddy Rob, we got to go Derby together up in Cadott Lake with it, and he ran up there as well. And then I got to Derby against Rob again in Vauxhall this year. So yeah, it was a fun car, worth every single penny. So I'm gonna get the drive shaft pulled and a few other things. I mean, there's not really a whole bunch to show you in here. I just got to get the engine out, get it split from the tranny. Tranny's going back to Rob just to go through it, make sure it's good for next year. And yeah, and I guess we'll get this engine put away and sealed up for winter. So one thing I wanted to show people that don't derby is this is our drive shaft. So we run, it's a slider drive shaft, so it's actually just PTO shaft. And basically this tube in here will slide inside of this one. So as our car shrinks, this will shrink, and as it expands, and when I say shrink and expand, I mean bend and get way out of whack. So this one, when I started, the slide was about here. So we lost about 4 inches of length in the car, or in the drivetrain. And that's just, a lot of it is how the diff will roll back or roll forward. It's just one thing that makes these cars go as long as they do. So when you see a car that's bent in half, bananaed, and still going, it's likely got a slider under it. But yeah, just for anyone that didn't know, that's what our drive shafts are. So the best thing I found is just cut the front end off. And to give you some perspective, like this bumper is almost chest height. So yeah, we'll probably, well, bumper's basically falling off on that side. So what we'll probably do is just cut this side off. These cups are still good, so I want to keep those. I don't want those to go in the garbage because they work good for Pontiacs, Buicks, and Oldsmobiles. And yeah, they're still straight. So this bumper, it's seen better days. It's flattened out a bit, as you can see, so it ain't gonna bolt on to the next car, but that's what a welder's for. Okay, so everything is cut out of the way. We got everything disconnected except for power steering. We'll do that. Surprisingly enough, this thing still had steering. Mind you, it's a little towed out, but it's still steered. Even with the steering wheel in my lap, I had a bruise right here from that steering wheel. So I'll bring the hoist in, and yeah, so what I did to make it easier is I cut out the whole floor so I can just lift this whole thing up and out. So we'll leave it about here. We'll get it picked up because I still got to pull the engine mount bolts, and then we'll let the hoist down and we'll yank it out. And yeah, so we'll turn the transmission on it, or take the transmission off. We'll put the engine on a hoist, or on the engine stand, and yeah, we're good for the winter. So we'll get it tucked away somewhere in here. We'll find a spot. I might take Old Faithful out and tuck it in over there or right beside it, but that's what we're doing. Chevelle's back tonight, so I'm going to pick it up tonight, and then we'll have it back in the shop tomorrow, and we can start working on the exhaust. And so when I put the fuel pump in, that big fuel pump video I did about how easy it is, make sure you read the instructions. I didn't know that it didn't have a fuel gauge, like level sensor with that pump. So now I have to drop the tank out of it and install a aftermarket fuel sensor. So that's awesome. But I'm gonna bring the hoist in, we'll get this thing out. So nothing exciting happened. It came out without any troubles. We got a pretty good spot worn right there from rubbing the firewall. But everything looks good. Like even the engine mounts are straight. What? No way. That never happens. Like those are reusable. So that's good. So we'll set it down. We'll break this transmission off of it. We'll set it aside for Rob to look at. But when I pulled the lines off, I mean that fluid is cherry red. So I don't think, and with how hot I was, if I was boiling over, I think this hose would have been burnt or like melted. I think we just boiled every ounce of coolant out of this thing, but yeah, it's good. So I'm gonna get this all set up and we'll try and figure out what we're gonna build next. This is what I was talking about, how hot it got. Maybe that's from the headers, but yeah, this thing is a beast and I can't wait to run it next year. So I'm gonna get it all put away and stuff, get this car drug back outside and get ready for the Chevelle to come back in. And yeah, we'll get going on that. Okay, so engines on the stand, transmissions on one of my little rolly things. I never thought of that before, but I can just roll it around where I need it. That's handy. So yeah, we're gonna stuff the engine over there. We got the batteries out. So this car, it can be out in the weather. I don't mind. So we'll put it out back out of the way. We'll get this all cleaned up. I know it's not Chevelle content, but it's sort of derby content and sort of, I don't know if you wanted to see it or not. I was going to show you what I was doing today. So have a great day. Be sure to like, subscribe. We're trying to be one of them car guys on YouTube, I guess. So yeah, thanks guys. Appreciate you.